Boo, 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 boo. Happy Bow Tie Friday. I'm Austin Griffith. I'm here with Alex.
Woo!
Yeah, let's
What's
jump
up?
right into it. I love when an app goes on chain and it starts to get a bunch of users and the infrastructure falls over because so many people. That was the DM you got from me a couple nights ago. Brother, you got to scale your infra up. So congratulations on users. That's an awesome problem to have.
Thank you so much, Austin. So glad to be here and see you again.
Yes, awesome. We've had we've run into each other a few times throughout the great build, and you've been trying many things. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like how has the journey to product market fit been for you?
Of course. And it's not over. I feel like it's still not product market fit, but we are definitely getting there. It's really exciting. But yeah, I guess my journey very quickly is I've always been like a crypto native like you, like always hanging out at conferences, starting in 2019. Met the Meta Cartel crew, which you were part of as well. That was kind of my roots. So it's like a lot of Ethereum native kind of weirdos back then, just trying to make consumer apps on Ethereum. On mainnet back then, there was barely any like scalability stuff. And so just tried a lot of stuff. The one thing I'm known before, I guess Dracula and Showtime, my company, is I created my own token, the Alex token, during COVID. Because transparently, like I didn't have much money, and like during COVID, oil price sunk 90%. That was most of my savings. The grants were stopping to happen from Meta Cartel because there was less funding, and so I was like, all right, fuck it. Sorry, I did a swear word, but I was like, screw it. I'm just going to crowdfund with the Alex token that I had created, $20,000, and I want to move to San Francisco and create my company in Silicon Valley. And a lot of people jumped in and helped me, like Jacob from Zora, Dan Finlay from MetaMask. Like a lot of people were super kind. I was 23 back then. I'm a bit older now. And so I moved to San Francisco. And what's really cool is the Alex token has you in it in the story, because basically we do this crowdfunding, it goes viral. And then I'm like, what's next? Like, you know, it's an interruptible ERC20 token. I can do other use cases with this holder base I have. There was like 600, 700 people holding it. And you came to me and was like, hey, like, let's do some fun stuff. I was watching Bow Tie Friday about like, actually signature-less Bow Tie Friday. I hadn't watched it before we even worked together. And yeah, like that was super interesting. All the technical stuff you were doing and your work at EF and Gitcoin. And so we decided to do this thing where I was like, hey, like people should probably choose where I move to, like with
because it was too expensive, right? Like
yeah, exactly.
It was token, but it was on mainnet, and like getting
signal so it was super expensive.
Yeah.
Exactly. And at first, I was wanting to do something super serious, like where should I move? Because I had nothing to do during COVID, and you're like, no, let's do something more fun. And so we did this thing called Control My Life, which did really well also with the media. I think we got like covered on like a couple stuff, like guy who tokenizes himself now lets the holders choose his life choices or something. And that was with you, and I'm very grateful for that work, and it's been super fun.
We built it like overnight in Scaffold-eth, I think. It was like, we just have to get signatures and have the signatures go to a back end, and then we can cryptographically prove that these token holders want this thing to happen, and you as the admin need to see that. Literally like a 3-hour Scaffold-eth build, probably.
Yeah, I totally remember that. That was crazy. And I got the Austin treatment. Like we were on Zoom, you were helping me code and stuff. Like I'm not a very technical person on front end, back end, or any technical stuff, but you helped me do that. That was super awesome and super easy. Yeah, and it was really crazy because, to be honest, like, I mean, we can talk about it after, but I'm pretty sure it inspired Snapshot, which is a legit signature project. Because basically we launched this project. And then this French guy like me called Fabian, I think, just reaches out. It's like, dude, like this is crazy. Like what you've done with Austin may seem like a joke, but this is the future of DeFi governance. And turns out, like if you go to Snapshot.pages and you scroll down, like I'm one of the first ever snapshots. We didn't use it. We used your custom system, but he already had this in mind and be like, hey, like you can continue your stuff on Snapshot. And Snapshot DAO is very important to decide billions of dollars of DAOs. And so what sounds like a gimmick, you know, like you never know how your Scaffold E Hack MVP can become one day. So pretty stoked about that.
Those prototypes like kind of set the stage, but you don't want to use a 3-hour build for a professional product like Snapchat, but it can be the, you know, the kernel of something that starts something and sprouts. So, okay, so let's talk about Dracula now. And there's even some weird like geopolitical things going on with TikTok. What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. So after doing the Alex token with you, I was like, how to make the Alex token work for everyone and have like a creator token, not just for me as a builder, but for any content creator like on TikTok. And so long story short, like we iterated a bunch of times, like started a company called Showtime, which initially was like a NFT art gallery in 2021, raised some funding, and then I iterated a bunch of times. And basically Dracula in December, I'm realizing that, you know, it's deep in the bear market. It was still like not much activity. And a lot of creators, of content creators, could not really live off on-chain revenue anymore. And so they all moved back to TikTok. And I was like, oh, wow, like they're really all on TikTok. It's the most popular video app. Video is the most popular content format. So I got to do something and mix it with crypto somehow. And so, yeah, launch an app. I can talk about the technical stuff that made it happen. But to me, it's 3. It's layer 2s, embedded wallets, and account abstraction.
You have NOA Safes built in, right? Which is something I did not see coming. That's such a good idea. So your account system is a smart contract wallet that's actually a NOA Safe underneath the sheet. Yeah,
it's a smart account with Pimlico, which uses Safe as the multi-sig. And so like basically embedded wallets via Privy, so you can sign with Farcaster. Using Pimlico, which uses Safe, so it's a smart account. So you deposit money, and that's the last on-chain transaction you need to do. We take care of every other on-chain transaction, even on our test flight app. A mobile app has on-chain transactions invisibly happening. Whoa, let's go!
Yeah. Nice. My first Dracula. It doesn't have any audio. It's gonna be weird because it's like definitely like me like quietly doing this. You'll hear me like
that's so funny.
But I definitely just did my first Dracula. Nice. I'll send it to you on Telegram, cool. So you have it.
Yeah, please.
So now I'll earn Deion for this. Is that right? You didn't create your own native token. You use Deion, which I think is also an interesting product decision.
Exactly. Like basically what happened is we want to do this. We see there's a new stack in crypto with embedded wallets, account abstraction. And we're like, this means we should probably rebrand to kind of like make people understand this is something new. And so we call it Dracula because we wanted to vampire attack TikTok. And so we kind of went up with that analogy that crypto native will understand. And basically we have like a creator token component where you can buy and sell creators on a bonding curve. It's an NFT bonding curve.
Love it.
And I remember I had asked you on Telegram, like, oh, do you know anyone from BuidlGuidl who could build it? We eventually found someone. And so it's an NFT under the hood. And NFT is priced in a ERC20. And so initially we wanted to do USDC because like, let's do a mainstream product and have credit card and stuff. Because when we started working on it, it was like January, February 2024. And honestly, Crypto Social was really kind of dead. Farcaster was still a pretty small network of great builders, but still very small. And towards the end of us shipping, we see Farcaster Frames really like spark the ideas for devs. It was really massive, and Farcaster grows 10 times over. And now I'm like, okay, like seems like that could be our go-to market. That could be a great way to like share it because Farcaster is big. And what's the Farcaster biggest currency? Well, it's Degen. That, you know, seems like a meme coin, seems like a silly project, but just like the Alex token, if you look over the surface, actually it's like the native tipping currency of Farcaster. Everyone has an allowance, and so it's exactly like the Alex Control My Life. It seems silly, but it actually was a pretty big thing. And we're like, well, let's just integrate Degen. And so I come to JSEC and I say, hey, can we get a small grant for this because we're about to integrate your coin. And he gave me a grant of like $10,000. We launched the app. And so the thing is priced in Degen. And like it got a ton of usage. Like it's been 1 month and we've had almost 1 billion Degen in volume, which is like $50 million, which for a social app is massive because we're not optimizing for volume. We want users to try. As you said, it's really cool because we're getting new people from Instagram and TikTok on chain. That's the goal. The goal is not necessarily volume, but you know, paying creators is a good thing, and that was awesome to see that. And so they get 5% of the bonding curve, so 2 million out of the 50 or something, 2.5. And what's really cool is the 10K grant turns out to be $1 million because Deion really skyrocketed.
Shut up.
And so we're not going to use it for us. We're like, well, this grant was to pay creators, so let's keep that. And so now every week we're airdropping $50,000. And so I think like that's really cool because creators are like joining the app right now because it's like, well, I can just get money for building stuff. Like TikTok never paid me. They have my data. They have I'm not even touching any money that advertisers, they earn your content, they earn the ratio with advertisers. And so that's kind of sucks for me. And so there's this other app that's, has less users, but I'm a bit more, so I'm going to move there. And so, yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy ride since then. And so, yeah, that's kind of Dracula for you.
In the chat, I see Vectorized was the dev. Is that who you got? That's a good dev. Like,
no, I didn't get Vectorized. Oh. I didn't get Vectorized. Oh, however, okay. I think the reason why that comment happened is because we did reuse Vectorized contracts of the bonding curve.
Was that the Solady stuff?
No, not Solady, but Vectorized. Vectorized is working for Sound.xyz, which is like a music NFT platform. Yep. And under the MIT license, he had done a bonding curve contract for NFTs, which is very good. It's like, I think it's like quadratic at first and then logarithmic or something, where basically like it is a little steep at first. And then once there's enough demand, it kind of like becomes a little flatter so it doesn't get too expensive. So we like that contract and we swapped the ETH ticker for ARC20 and it worked out. We worked with Scaffold-eth.
Awesome. Yep.
Scaffold-eth was the consultant dev shop, and I love Ben and the team. They've been really awesome.
Ben De Francisco, I think is his name.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Exactly.
Yes, an amazing dev shop in this space.
Exactly. So I remember Jin from Optimism recommended Ben a while ago, and it was a pleasure to work with Ben. Really great Solidity. They've done some open source stuff as well for privacy. I think it was called Umbra. So yeah, love Ben. Love working with Ben and Scaffold-eth. Definitely great builders.
Dope. Okay, are you ready for the section of Bow Tie Friday where I shill you Bow Tie Friday builds? Maybe we have 10, 15 more minutes left. Okay, let me bring these. Let me bring these up. Okay, so this part of Bow Tie Friday is to highlight the BuidlGuidl builders, and we'll talk through kind of what they've built. And I'm just going to kind of scrub through quickly. But your goal is to pick out maybe an impact favorite. I don't know. So I feel like you have a specific skill. Is it product market fit? Is it product? You have a specific skill with product and understanding how to make products work for people, I think. So maybe we have like this product reward. You pick the one that has the best chance of getting product market fit and the one that has the most impact or something like that. How's that? It doesn't matter. We're just making this up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So first off was Remy Codes, and he built a third level domain controller for ENS apps. It's like an 1155. I think my favorite part of this was he built the ENS UI right into Scaffold-eth, which I think is going to be the future for registering your ENS name. You won't go to ENS and register your name. You'll go to Dracula, and inside of Dracula, you'll have like your address, and it will look shitty, and it will have a little like pencil next to it, and you'll click the pencil, and you'll say, "I'm Austin.Dracula.app," and you will handle everything beyond that, right? But the person just sets their name, and that becomes their on-chain name. I think we'll see. Okay, so that is build number one from Remy. The 1155 ENS wrapper. The next one is Valentine, who did a Scaffold-eth React Native build. So ignore the ganache. We had to. He figured out a new way to do the chain, so he doesn't have to bring in extra ganache here. But basically, what he did was try to make all these kind of like scaffolding components, and the experience of editing your smart contract, but then being able to tinker with it here on his phone. He's got his phone up here, and he's actually like tinkering with like basically the very first mint on his contract he's doing on localhost on his phone with a pretty nice looking UI. So we've got React Native Scaffold-eth from Valentine.
Nice.
Okay, and then next is Code Chef. Oh, he took us through some code. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, so there's a lot there. Yeah, what he did was like mint a snowman NFT on chain, not on chain, but on his local chain. Okay, next up is Code Chef, and Code Chef he makes these like kind of games every week, and I'm pushing him more and more to get something on chain so we can actually find out if one of these will work. But he did kind of like a Pokemon Go kind of thing, except for you have to go to certain locations to pick up resources. I think it's kind of a crafting game, and you have to gather resources
Nice.
based on location. All right, next up is Bite at a Time. Bite at a Time has been crushing all sorts of things. He works so fast that I can't even keep up with him. But I think he built a svelte version of Scaffold-eth. So we're seeing lots of different flavors of Scaffold-eth. This is a svelte version. So for anybody who's into svelte, he's got this kind of nice starter kit that uses all the like runes and all the new things with svelte. Get at me if you're interested in that. Then Lulux. Lulux has an on-chain payment request system. I think we'll see this a lot more in apps where you can request money and then either it's a link or it's a QR code. And basically, if you can request money, you're almost like creating like a little ad hoc shop, right? If I'm a street vendor and I want to sell something, I could just have a QR code that is my ETH address, but what if I could have something that's a deeper link into a system that you can track or something like that? So that was Lulux's on-chain. Sorry, I'm scrolling around like crazy here. Okay, next up was Simone, who created Daily Loogies, and he won a $1,000 bounty caster bounty. I basically bountied it up and I said, build something cool with Scaffold-eth too. And he made daily loogies. So he took loogies and then turned it into like a Nouns DAO daily kind of auction. And that was fun. Okay, and then we had Jacob. Jacob has two builds here. Jacob's first build is a reputation starter kit. So he created reputation tokens, and then he powered this app with HATS protocol. And it allows you to stick reputation into your app by just kind of forking this kind of existing thing from, I think it's from ATX DAO. That's from Jacob. Then we have Name. Name created base pay. So Name has been tinkering a lot with passkeys. And I know you're into passkeys too, I bet. Do you have Pimlico on yours? Is that right?
We have, so Privy just shipped passkeys. We don't have passkeys in our app yet because we're using Sign In with Farcaster, which itself uses passkey.
Which is still so smooth. Yeah, I did that this morning.
Yeah.
It was like,
I like Privy.
Go to Warpcast. Yep.
Yeah, I would recommend Privy for builders. Like, it's actually pretty easy to integrate. For like a small hack. Yeah.
Heck yeah. So Name is working with passkeys, and what he's doing, I think here is basically there's just a passkey that has that blob storage that's secure, and we're able to put a burner wallet into that blob storage. So you kind of have a burner wallet backed by a passkey that lets you make payments. And it's just a simple like burner wallet payments app backed by passkeys. Okay, then Dev Daniel created a builder. We got 3 left. We're almost done. Dev Daniel created a builder registry. And this was more for like internal BuidlGuidl stuff, but it's like you create a builder registry for your DAO or for your BuidlGuidl. And it's more like internal tooling, I think. And then we've got we've got the Quizzer from CJ. So we've seen this before, but I love seeing this build. It's a Farcaster frame quiz builder, and we've seen that before, right? There's been some good ones, but it's always so this one, I think, first of all, it's exciting to me because it's in Scaffold-eth 2, and I love getting good forks of Scaffold-eth 2 out there. But also he did some on-chain stuff here where you are actually answering the questions in the frame and they're going on chain. And if you answer enough stuff on chain, you actually get a token and I think next steps will be to go mint a nice like a dynamic SVG NFT. So when you finish your quiz, you get like a nice NFT for completing it. And then Jacob's second one, he did Scaffold NFT. So basically just like Scaffold-eth is scaffolding for apps, Scaffold NFT is for NFTs. You can kind of take this branch and you can fork it and you can point it at any NFT collection, and it becomes like a nice little programmable gallery where you can add a mint button or do whatever you want with your NFT. But that is okay. So that's all the builds. I can run through them real quick for you again. We've got
so ENS, React Native, the location one, the logs request. I took notes. The reputation one, passkey, builder registry, the frame quiz, Scaffold NFTs. I may have missed one or two, but I tried to take all the notes.
There was a Scaffold React Native in there. I don't know if you got that one. And there was the Svelte version of Scaffold-eth. I don't know if you got that.
Oh, yeah, the Svelte. Yeah, I got the Svelte.
Okay. So what do you think? Which one? We're looking impact, and we're talking maybe product or product market fit. What are your favorites?
Okay, yeah. So some of my favorites, I think the payment request by lulux.eth is really good because like, I think if I wasn't working on Dracula, one of the most impactful things, so maybe that's like impact. The top impact would be maybe Lulux request because crypto is approaching the scale of Venmo or fintech of all the payments apps. And I think like a crypto Venmo is going to be very impactful. Plus, it's always a fun product to build because it's not very difficult. It's like, you just pick any chain, send request. Like, I think it's definitely a great hack to do. A second massive one that I love was the Reputation project. I think Reputation, especially if it's based on HATS protocol and many more, web of trust stuff. I was working with Dan Finlay and others on like some working group about like Reputation, web of trust. I love the WorldCoin team. I think it's a great product. Like Reputation is gonna be a big deal because crypto is a lot about bounties, as you know really well. And like anything you put a bounty on, like gets gamed eventually. So that's gonna be a big deal. I think like maybe if I have a user experience price, the passkey project also to me like wins a big prize. Passkey is really amazing. It works with Apple. It works with hardware. You get like the secure enclave, I guess, to like secure something with a device. So that's great. And then I think I can do a bonus one also for Farcaster because I love Farcaster. So the frame quiz builder also wins the Farcaster prize, which I think is a great place for builders. I hope I meet some of you in Farhack if you're watching. I love Farhack, and which is like the hackathon by Farcaster. So, but honestly, all the projects were really great. I love ENS. ENS is the future. React Native is also a big deal. The GPS project, we've actually tried it at Dracula in the past, in some past iterations.
The builder registry, kind of, can't you? Do you run into problems with security there?
I think like senior engineers can definitely game location, but it's a little hard. But you can game it. And then
so it's going to be a dude. It's like you're not going to game it on your phone. You're going to have like a laptop out, and you're going to be doing some weird
exactly. You have to do a laptop with some weird proxy. So it's not obvious, but like it can be done. And then I think the builder registry is great. And ideally, you could match maybe the builder registry with the reputation score, so that if you're a builder that gets voted a lot, so there could be some cross collaboration for Scaffold-eth projects.
Look at this idea guy. We got the idea guy on. Dude, this is exactly what I want to talk. If you have a little bit longer, you hinted at if I wasn't working on Dracula, I'd be working on a payment.
Yeah.
Are there more things like that? Are there things that are like you wish you could but you can't, and things that are just like would really slap right now in the space, but you just
Exactly. So to me, like there's a lot of things, and what I look at is like how feasible it is given like the crypto advancements. And I think very soon we're going to see with like Reth, by Georgios and people like the Rust
right here. It's running right here.
It's going. Oh, nice. Oh wow, amazing. That's amazing. I think like there's going to be a lot of improvements in the infra for layer 2s, and that means a lot of new use cases can be possible. So all the social media stuff with Dracula is going to be great. Another big one is going to be all the payments apps. Like we see Dymo, we see the WorldCoin app. I think it's going to be a big deal to have a wallet like Venmo. Like, when you're out with friends and they happen to be not from the United States, when you pay the bill, it's like, oh, like, do you have Venmo? No. Do you have Revolut or N26? And it's like, it's annoying. Versus here, it will be instant settlement, no fees. Stripe, I think, is adding stablecoin payments as of this week. So that's a very big deal. Our third thing is definitely like proof of humanity, reputation. This will keep coming back as a problem because the more things you give to people, the more game they will be. And what a shame, because this industry really works on the gift economy. Like Peter Pan from Meta Cartel paid my flights. Like the Alex token was very generous. People giving me $20,000 on aggregate so I could move to San Francisco. I wouldn't do it without the Ethereum community. And so everyone is always giving bounties to people. And if that could be working at scale, that would be great without being gamed by MEV or whatever is the malicious actors. So like reputation, crypto Venmo, social media. Those are like 3 projects I think will have a big impact in the space. ENS also will be a big deal too. Like I'm a really big fan of ENS. I think the protocol is very sound. I think Vitalik talked about it a lot also, like how to make ENS work on L2s. Like having a username everywhere is a very simple trick, but really helpful.
Where are you deploying apps? You have a favorite chain? I think I probably know what this is, but what's your favorite place to deploy apps right now?
On-chain, so you mean like the chain? So right now we are on Base. I think like to me, I look at the OP stack and I'm like, well, the OP stack is an open source tooling. And so I'm going to go to the project which has the most distribution because that's how we get the most impact.
Users,
and so
right?
today that is Base. And so like Coinbase has been very kind with us. They have great docs. Like they've been really helpful. And so to me, Base is like a great project to build on. But there will be many more in the future. Like I like the super chain aspect where it's not just one company. WorldCoin is doing a world chain that's going to be gasless for many people because like I think they'll fund you some gas if you are a uniquely verified human. And to me, that's really helpful because that means like when gas becomes very low, it gets really spammed a lot. Like Polygon has a lot of spam tokens. And so how do you prevent spam? Well, if you fund accounts of real people, then you actually subsidize real activity on your chain. And so I would say the world chain is exciting as well as Base. But honestly, any L2, you can just have fun and try it out. And you can even spin up your own L2 nowadays or L3 now. It's like the new.
That's where I'm going with this is like we spun up, Carlos from BuidlGuidl spun up a BuidlGuidl
L3
stack. Yeah. But it costs money to run, right? Like it's still settling to mainnet, costing us a couple thousand. But I think there's some kind of break-even point where it's like, okay, once we have, $4,000 worth of revenue in the door each month, it may make sense to have an OP stack just for your app, right? Have you thought about OP stack for Dracula and what's the trade-offs there, or where have you been with that in terms of thinking through it?
Yeah, we could potentially do it. I mean, like it's a great business model because you get sequencer fees, and that's like one way of making money. And maybe that way users don't eat fees as much on your app, and then there's like a bit that's used. I think it could be interesting for us. I think right now we're fine on Base because like we want an app with a lot of different tools, and we have all the tools on Base, like Pimlico for account abstraction. They're safe, and so like we would need to have the guarantee that every tool ports over. So I don't think it's a priority for us. Maybe if we become very, very big, we may want to not pay too much block space to Base. But other than that, I think it's a pretty symbiotic relationship so far. And yeah, I think L3s are pretty interesting. Like I haven't really fully made my mind up yet with L3s because I'm like, is this really secure? Like sometimes I'm like, is this like a marketing thing? But if it's very cheap, then potentially for low value project, I think it would be great. Like if you just want to have fun,
like an on-chain game that's headed toward L2, but exactly, do it on one of these L3s. Yeah,
exactly. Like L3 actually have a pretty high TPS. Like Deion launched their own L3 chain, and it's already having a higher TPS. So it is a proof of induced demand, which is like if you increase the supply, like it will actually increase the number of people using the chain. And so I think L3 can be a definitely fun way to start. And let's see in the future if they can be like reliable and safe, etc. But yeah, I would say like now it's actually much more affordable to do experiments on different chains because all of these chains were really cheap. Like, you're very OG, Austin. Like, like there was many times where gas fees were really hard. However, I feel like we are OG enough that I remember when ETH was very cheap. I remember doing
like 5-cent transactions.
Yeah. I remember doing a Uniswap swap that was 0 cents. Yeah. And I'm sure we can probably find it in like my transaction history. And it's like, I think you'll never see that again on layer 1.
Yep. Because the price of ETH was a lot lower at the same time. If we go look at it, it's probably still like in Gwei quite a bit, but the price of ETH was $80 too at the time, or less.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I definitely got to shill Speedrun Ethereum. If you are a builder out there, make sure you go Speedrun Ethereum. Speedrun Ethereum is like this really, well, let's keep it up there. What am I getting it? We're getting rid of it. It's a very quick curriculum. It gets you right down to the best stuff. I got Speedrun Ethereum hanging out right there. Yeah. Gets you right down to the best concepts and helps you learn how to build stuff on chain quickly. And then also, man, you got to shill this guy right here. Go check this out. I sent you a link. I sent you a link in Telegram. I probably need some love from you because no one knows who I am. And there's like no audio here. Like, this is such a boomer clip for me because I don't have I need some text in there and I need some good cutting. I'm the worst video editor. So I just did one quick video.
Oh, wow. You already have 4 collectors.
Ooh, yeah. Boom. Rolling in it.
Nice. Nice.
Awesome, man.
Okay, I'm gonna cast it on the Farcaster right now.
You better catch it now. It's gonna go. Everyone's gonna be like, what the hell? All right, let's go. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Anything else you want to show that we haven't shilled yet? Anything else? Are you going to FarCon?
I'm going to FarCon. I'm going to show Far Hack, which is the Farcaster hackathon happening at FarCon. I hope to see many of you there. I think it's really great vibes right now around Farcaster. Like, frames is interesting. There's even actions now, like a little button you can do to customize cast. Love the Farcaster team. I think it's a very interesting project. And so see you there. That's what I'm going to show. Far Hack builders.
Good work. All the builders. That made me think of the kudzu exchange that we just created. It's like we didn't create anything. Billy created he did this kudzu thing for like the OG NFT conference like years ago, but then he just relaunched it on Base because it makes sense to launch these things on Base now again where everything's cheap. But yeah, let me see if I can get kudzu. There we go. It's kudzu.exchange and it's a frame. So if you throw this on Warpcaster, then it's going to create a frame and you can, like you said, you can basically just hit one button and mint to an address. You just type in an address and hit go, and it's going to mint kudzu to your account right in line on Warpcaster. So definitely want to share that. Another one, but you're right. Base and all these kind of like California culture creators are coming on chain and bringing way more people on chain. We have folks like you creating amazing products. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Keep bringing those users in. Keep that infrastructure up. Keep it humming.
It's been better now. We are stable now.
I uploaded my video. Crazy. It worked. Yeah, there's a Twitter handle too. Awesome. All right. Happy Bow Tie Friday. Thank you so much.
Happy Bow Tie Friday. See you. Thank you, Austin. Good to see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.